Okay, so now that you have completed that activity, we're going to move on. There are three ways to evaluate a risk factor. The first is to consider both short and long-term consequences of the behavior or action that you want to perform. Two is to decide whether you can control the risk factor. If it's you performing a physical activity, if it has to do with your diet and nutrition, if it has to do with choosing not to use alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs, or wearing protective gear to prevent different things from happening, like if you're handling chemicals or if you're going outside and it's cold, and then the friends that you choose. And then the third is to analyze the possible benefits and risks of each decision. So that moves us on to talking about taking responsibility for your health and making responsible decisions. So the decisions that you make reflect your personal values and the values of your family. Decision-making skills are steps that enable you to make a healthful decision. And when we're talking about health, we're talking about something that can impact you for a lifetime. So I'm going to present you with 6 steps for decision making to help you make good, healthful, and wise choices. The first step is to state the situation. Ask yourself, what decision do I need to make right now? Who is involved? Am I feeling any pressure? And how much time do I have to decide? Number 2 is list the options. What are the possible choices you could make? Sometimes it is appropriate not to take an action. Weigh the possible outcomes. Weighing the consequences of each option, such as the health risks. Does this go against my values? Are there legal consequences if I do this? Would my parents approve of this? Number 4 is to consider your values. How might this decision reflect on my core values and beliefs? Number 5 is to make a decision and act on it. Use all that you currently know to make a responsible and wise and healthful decision. And then 6 is evaluate your decision. Reflect on what happened. What was the outcome? How did you decide? How did your decision affect your health and those around you? And what did you learn? So, making responsible decisions and learning how to make good decisions and wise decisions and evaluating those decisions all go into, they all kind of swarm around the idea of making and setting goals. So, you should have short term and long term goals for yourself in life. Short term goals are things that you might be able to accomplish within a few weeks or a few months' time. Long term goals are anything that would last longer than 6 months or over a year. And one thing that you can follow when you are setting goals for yourself are called SMART goals. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. When you are creating goals for yourself, you want to start with specific, the S in SMART. Ask yourself, what exactly do you want to achieve? Good goals are clear and defined. Without a clear, defined goal, how do you know where to start? Good goals are also measurable, which is the second letter in SMART. How will you know when you've achieved it? You will be able to track daily progress. So if you have a goal and you can't track it, how do you know if you are actually being successful in that goal? You need to be able to measure it and track your goal over time. A is achievable. How can the goal be accomplished? One way to do this is to list the specific tasks you will need to do to complete the goal. Relevant is the next word in SMART. Why is this goal important to you? Are you making this goal for yourself or are you making this goal for other people? Because if you're making this for other people, that does not help you and you won't stick to the goal. It needs to be relevant and important to you. And one way to measure this might be, does this goal help add to your plans for the future? And then it needs to be time bound. So when do you want to achieve this goal by? You need to set a target date of when you would like to achieve the goal so that can guide you in your work towards successful completion of the goal. So 3 steps that you can take to help meet your personal health goals. The first one is gaining awareness, recognizing a health problem. The second one is gaining knowledge, so learning about your health problems. And then the third one is building healthy skills, applying and practicing the knowledge that you learn. So things that we've talked about, analyzing different influences, which we're going to do here in a minute, knowing how to access valuable information, knowing how to communicate clearly, making decisions, setting goals for yourself, and practicing healthy behaviors, and being able to advocate for yourself and others when it comes to your health. At this time, go ahead and head back to your HyperDoc and look to see what activity you need to do next.